Good morning. It is Monday morning, my first day back to like the real world. July 1st. I wanted to make a video to show kind of the progress that we made yesterday and to talk a little bit about what is going to happen next here in the ballroom. Chris did chores this morning, so I don't have any updates out there, but things are really quiet today. Okay, I'll show you what we did. So what we did yesterday was run wiring for sconces, and also, so this box here was a 6-gang. There were 2 switches that controlled 3 ceiling fans here, but we are not having ceiling fans anymore. We're having chandeliers, which only need 1 switch. So this has gone down to 3. This box used to have 4 switches in it to control track lighting, which we've taken down. So this switch will now control the sconce that is right above it. And so I've started patching that. This is probably not the right way. This is the easy way. I buy these pre-made mesh stickers that have like a little piece of aluminum in them to give them some structure. That's what I did here. It's kind of showing you nothing here, but there used to be that intercom here. And I am still working on getting that. I'm gonna put another coat on here, the last coat hopefully on here, and another coat here this morning in just a minute. So we ran wiring. So here's the first sconce, and that one has a switch there. And then here is the next sconce. We didn't want to get involved in a project where we were running switches for sconces like through this enormous room. This room is about 45 feet by 27 feet. And we weren't gonna do it. That's not something that my time, patience, or budget allows. So what we've done is we've cut a hole and run wire for the sconce itself, and then for a switch directly below it. Hopefully those switches just disappear once the room is full. And hopefully, I don't know, if we have kids in here or whatever, they don't mess with them too much, but that's what we've done for everything. So that's a receptacle, an existing receptacle. That's the wiring for the switch for the sconce, and then that is the box for the sconce itself. There's no boxes in there yet. I had a bunch of boxes. We have a bin, a Rubbermaid tote of electrical supplies in the garage, like any, self-respecting DIYer, but we just didn't have what we need. So those are on their way. So this is the window out the front of the ballroom. This is why we call this farm Longview. So there's a sconce here to the left of this window and then to the right. I made the decision not to put panel molding above the chair rail on these end walls. Everyone who comes in here asks me why I didn't, but I do think once the drapes are up, once the sconces are up, I don't think it's gonna be noticeable. I just think it's noticeable because it's empty in here right now. Okay, and then there's 2 on this wall. This is the wall I just showed you, and there is another panel molding box that will go in the center there. I just can't put it up until this patch right here where the intercom was is done. Okay, so the third set of sconces are on this wall back here behind Chair Mountain. So those are the same situation. We've got the box up here for the sconce, and then there's this box right there for a switch, and then there's a receptacle. So that is a huge leap forward for us. So I'm really grateful that my stepdad was able to help. I've done it again where I talked and didn't. It happens when I turn the camera to face me. Anyway, I was just describing the assembly line that my stepdad and I took for running or prepping for this new wiring. And then I was talking about there is another box right here that had 3 switches in it that we aren't gonna need anymore. Oh, and then I was talking about the disco ball. So we came to look at this house and we saw that baby. And we were like, wait, what's going on there? And they were like, oh, that's hardwired. We have a switch. Oh yeah, she's still operational. That light also powers an outlet up here on top of the closet, there, which controls the lighting. So the disco ball makes it look like a snow globe in here. I have unplugged the lighting and taken it out and taped over that outlet in preparation for painting while I was up there. Here's another thing. I also put this trim up here on the top of the closet. So that was just like raw drywall edge up there, and it just looked really unfinished. So yeah, I waited until I was done with all the molding so I could see what I had extra of. So that's what I had extra of, so that's what we did. We got this assembled so that we're ready to take these fans down. Our plan for tonight is to take down at least one fan because we need to see what is under there. Do we have direct access to the beam that is definitely there? Is that beam wood? There are a number of things we need to know before we can decide how we're gonna mount the chandeliers and what hardware we need and what tools we need to do that. So that's something that we need to know sooner rather than later. So we are definitely planning to do that tonight. And then I am going to work on getting those patches finished. I have more patches coming. I ran out of the size that I needed, so I did order those from Amazon yesterday. They should be here today or tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I'm not letting any drywall patches like hold up painting because anything can be touched up later. So we are planning to paint on Thursday, which is the 4th of July holiday. I'm hoping we can get paint and the electrical, most of the electrical, or a good chunk of the electrical, I'm bargaining with myself now, done this weekend, because if we do, then there's a chance that I would be able to get the stenciling on the ceiling done before the party. It's coming down to the wire kind of on this party. We've got a month and 10 days. So 41 days today to get this room ready for this party, but also I need to cook food for these people. I need to order, I'm gonna cook some food. I'm gonna order some things from like local bakeries and whatever. And anyway, I need to get all that going. Plus we're gonna have a bunch of house guests. So I'm hoping that we get a good crowd, and then I hope that we're done in time. And I hope that I'm still smiling a month from now. My mom worked yesterday on the drapes, and everything that was in progress she took with her, so I can't show it to you, but they are looking so gorgeous, and I can't wait to get this room together because I think it's going to be so beautiful. I need to put in a coat of joint compound on this, so I'm going to do that now. In preparation for us to go on vacation, Chris moved a bunch of stuff in the garage. It's so full out there right now, and so I can't really get into the tools easily. And I bought those drywall patches. They came with this terrible spatula, but I'm using it because it's easier than unearthing the real drywall tools. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm putting a really thin layer. This is the only spot, this upper corner, it's gonna be hard to see, but this is the only spot where you can still see the patch, but I'm gonna put a thin layer everywhere. Spreading out pretty far beyond where the patch is, right? Like, I want this to be a super smooth transition to the raised area. Okay, and then this one, same situation, a thin layer, but making sure that everything is covered. Okay, so that is step one. I have a thin layer on both of these spots. The next step is to clean up the mess you made. So there's some there and here. Okay, so this tool is called a magic trowel. Magic trowel. I've done a ton of plaster work, skim coating, drywall. I've done a ton of this work. I like this tool. I like it for this, it's nice and wide. and it's great for patches. So I just dampened this. I ran it under the sink and then I shook it off, and I'm just gonna slide this over and it just takes off the top. I'm not standing at the right angle. So this really minimizes the amount of sanding needed. It's basically like a pretty flexible squeegee. I think any squeegee would do it, honestly. Okay, so then I try to go from every direction to kind of get it as smooth as I can. I do recommend paying extra attention to the edges because that's where you're gonna, okay, so I must have caught a lump or something because there's a little gouge here that you're not gonna be able to see, but take my word for it. So now I'm gonna put the trowel on really flatly, right? So I was working up against the wall kind of at an angle like this, or in some cases like a steeper angle, but I'm gonna put it on really flatly because I wanna spread some of the joint compound on here into the wall. And then scrape it back down again just to fill that gouge. So that coat is done. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit this with the damp sponge later to try and smooth it out as much as I can. And then then I'll take a super fine sandpaper over it, and that's all the sanding I'm gonna do on this. And then this is gonna need at least one more coat, probably more like 2 to 3. I might do something decorative around these switches. I put returns on these. I don't know. I thought it was like the best solution for this. But then after I did it, I was like, why did I do it like this? And also, why didn't we move the switches over? And also, why? But this is how it's done. And I mean, it's a permanent situation. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm just gonna rinse this off and get into work, and I'll check in with you later today. Okay, things here are not looking their best. I am on the ground here with my drywall sponge, and I'm just gonna hit this. This is wetter than it probably should be. This drywall sponge has like a rough side and a soft side, like a Scott, you know, the green and yellows. Okay, so Chris is on the scaffolding, taking down this first ceiling fan. He's taking the glass globes off. We'll save those for another project. One thing is that in an effort to keep him from having to reach over his head, we've put the scaffolding in a way that he can't stand up and he has to reach over his head while seated. I think he can stand.
I can't.
Yeah. He's working low, so anyway. So we're trying to just get a handle on how long this is gonna take and also what we find underneath there so that we can make a plan for hanging the chandeliers. All right, here's somebody with a fresh haircut. So I said these guys are hard to shear, and because of that, sometimes their haircuts look like this. Not so pretty, but some of them look like this. Perfect. Right, lady? You did a perfect job shearing. So the lamb, they still have plenty to eat over here. These aren't great examples, but there's a lot of leaves left on this. So they don't have anything to complain about, but what they are is FOMO, that the lambs have all moved themselves into the laneway. Yeah, we didn't have lambs this last year, so we didn't have this problem. We might have to do another strand or some other solution next year. I should have said this earlier, but it's Monday night, like 8. We're just out having a look at everybody, making sure we're good for the night.
Very naughty ramlet.
Chris is claiming that our little ramlet is naughty, which cannot be true. Yeah, so.
He's not scared of me. Like the other one.
I couldn't bear to bring the real camera out because of how tired I look. I looked earlier when I was making video. Sunglasses help, I think. All right, well, there's Chris. He's now captured. Well, now he's jumping over the hot fence. Okay, it is Tuesday evening, about 8, I think. We're just going out to do a super quick night check. This time of year, tours are pretty easy, which is good because we are in full-on ballroom mode. It might not look like it by the video that you've seen, but there's been a lot of work going on up here for how things are going to happen. So this weekend is the 4th of July holiday, and I have 4 days, well, I have 4.5 days off starting tomorrow at noon, and so I'm planning to work as hard as I can on that project over the next few days. My stepdad and my mom are planning to be here for at least some of it. What is going on? There is some unrest here. We still have not cleaned up the barn from shearing. Oh, look at our hennies. So Prue and Mary are free once again because the lambs can no longer get in their coop and eat their food. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm gonna feed the chickens first because they can get demanding. They are chasing me down now. All right, come on, girls. No, you gotta go in. I can't go in until you go in. Come on. There we go. All right, look. Can you just anticipate my movements like a little bit? How is it possible that you guys ate all that food? Who ate it? Was it you? Was it you guys? Or was it the sparrows and the rats and whoever else? Oh, those sparrows. All right, girls, come on. Bedtime. Got an egg, like a $90 egg. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on here. Oh, Chris is petting lambs. I'll show you that. All right, here's what we've got for lambs who need petting. The ramlet right here with the R on his rump. And the bummer lamb. Oh, mama. Yeah, you guys are such sweeties. And the bandit. Hello. We haven't seen her in a while. Yeah.
Edie, we always see Edie.
There's Edie. Here's a lamb that doesn't normally get petted, but that seems curious about the process.
Pet curious.
Like, how do I apply for this? Edie, we got so many sweeties in this group. So many sweeties. Yeah. fingers. Little bitey. It's okay.
Hi.
Oh, look! No? The sheep head sticking in the window?
Oh. Oh. Huh. The boys.
I was thinking he must be the one who broke that window.
Oh, yeah.
Chris has gone to check water and feed for the dudes, and I am gonna check the strawberry bed. It's not producing a ton, not nearly as much as when we left, before we left for vacation. I think another variety is ripening now. The berries are a lot smaller. So I'm just gonna look through. The varieties we planted should fruit all year, all summer. This right here is called Doc, and these are its 1 million seeds that it makes for itself. It's a very prolific self-seeder. So I'm just gonna make sure I pull these, or at least break them back so they die before they get a chance to drop seeds. Okay, yeah, looking good as always. It is Wednesday, early evening. I meant to get a jump on this work much earlier in the day, and the day got a little derailed. But hopefully I can hammer out a bunch of this morning. Jesus, rough day. Rough couple days, actually. So what I am doing right now is I am putting electrical boxes in these holes. So we cut the holes, my stepdad and I last weekend. Well, he cut the holes, and then we both ran the wire. None of this wire is hooked up to any electricity right now. So I'm just gonna put these boxes in and then screw them. These are old work boxes, which is used for this instance when you're not working in new construction. So they have these ears, which you can just mount to the drywall directly. You can't use this for very heavy fixtures or anything like that. But they'll work great for this project. I bought these from Amazon. They were a really good deal, but what I'm finding, I already installed one over there, is that these screws strip immediately. They're teeny tiny. They have a teeny tiny Phillips head, and it's extremely shallow. It sucks. I don't know. I have to do them all by hand. This is Chris's very fancy screwdriver, which I'm using for this. Okay, so we already stripped back the wire cover. I have pushed up the tabs in these, so I'm just gonna stuff them in like so. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry. I punched the tabs out for different ones. These are totally interchangeable, but I have just already punched out the tabs in the places that I want. Okay, so I'm just pulling the wire through. It's not going great. These tabs. Okay, so once the box is in like that, then you tighten these screws and it draws these little tabs or ears on the inside in, and it clamps it to the drywall or sheetrock, depending where you live. All right, so this is what it looks like. These tiny screws strip immediately. Okay, it's about 8 later that day. Much later. Anyway, we were rocking out to some music. I didn't want to do much filming, but we have gotten a lot done. I think Chris is gonna wrap up now, and I'm gonna do a little bit more out here, because Chris is gonna go, take care of animals. So anyway, I just wanted to share, this is kind of a big milestone. This was the very last piece of panel molding, and we just put it up. Chris did it because it was too high for me to reach, and the scaffolding is still like too tall. So yeah, so that's done. So the panel molding project is complete. There's not going to be any up here, so don't ask. Panel molding only on the side walls. And then, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to see because of the clutter in the back of the room. Yeah, so that is kind of a big thing. Chris took down all of the ceiling fans here, put up the new boxes for the chandeliers, and then taped those off. He also took down the disco ball, which normally hangs right there. I think that's, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of progress. Oh, I weeded out the ugly chairs. That was one of my jobs today. I have a lot more work to do. Chris has to work in the morning. He has kind of a normal day on the holiday because hospitals are funny that way. But I'm off, so I will be back at it first thing. And hopefully the plan is to get this cleaned, prep for painting, clean caulk, prep for painting, and painted tomorrow. We'll see if it happens. Okay, I'm gonna sign off for tonight. If this is the end of the video, thanks for watching.